Good day, everyone. Today I want to talk about something very deep. Something that many people experience every day, but very few people notice. I want to talk about the way many of us live on automatic mode. What do I mean by automatic mode? Automatic mode means you are alive, you are moving, you are working, you are talking, you are reacting, but you are not fully aware of what is controlling you. You think you are making decisions, but many times you are only reacting from fear, anger, ego, trauma, pressure, and old patterns inside your mind. Let me say that again. Many people think they are free, but they are controlled by patterns they do not even see. They are controlled by fear. They are controlled by anger. They are controlled by money pressure. They are controlled by relationships. They are controlled by what people say. They are controlled by society. They are controlled by past pain. They are controlled by the need to prove themselves. They are controlled by the need to be accepted. And because they are not aware of this, they keep repeating the same emotions, the same mistakes, the same reactions, and the same suffering. This is where the idea of the hidden simulation becomes interesting. I am not saying we must believe that life is literally a computer game or a coded system, but as a metaphor, it is powerful. Because sometimes life feels like a hidden system. You meet the same type of people. You face the same kind of problems. You repeat the same mistakes. You get triggered by the same words. You fall into the same emotional traps. You react the same way again and again. And then you ask yourself, why does this keep happening to me? Maybe the answer is not only outside of you. Maybe the answer is also inside of you. Maybe life keeps showing you the same pattern because there is something inside your mind that has not yet become conscious. For example, someone insults you. Immediately, your body reacts. Your heart beats faster. Your face changes. Your voice becomes louder. Your mind starts creating stories. He disrespected me. He thinks I am weak. I need to answer back. I need to prove myself. But pause for a moment. Ask yourself, is that really you deciding? Or is that an old program inside you reacting? Maybe that reaction comes from pride. Maybe it comes from insecurity. Maybe it comes from past pain. Maybe it comes from childhood, when you felt ignored or disrespected. Maybe it comes from society teaching you that if you stay calm, you are weak. But being calm is not weakness. Sometimes, being calm is the highest form of power. Because anyone can react. Anyone can shout. Anyone can get angry. Anyone can lose control. Anyone can allow emotion to take over. But not everyone can pause. Not everyone can observe. Not everyone can say, I feel anger, but I will not become the anger. That is awareness. That is consciousness. That is personal power. When you get angry, sometimes that is no longer the real you. It is your emotion driving your body. It is the automatic program taking control. It is the negative energy entering your mind and using your mouth, your actions, and your decisions. And after the emotion is gone, what happens? You regret. You say, why did I say that? Why did I react that way? Why did I lose myself? That was not me. Exactly. That was not the highest version of you. That was the programmed version of you. The real you is the one who can observe the anger. The real you is the one who can say, I am feeling something, but I do not need to obey it immediately. The real you is the awareness behind the reaction. This is very important. You are not every thought that enters your mind. You are not every emotion that rises inside you. You are not every fear that speaks to you. You are not every pain from your past. You are the one who can observe them. And when you can observe something, you are already greater than it. Think about traffic. You are driving. The road is full. Cars are not moving. You are late. People are honking. Your mind starts to get irritated. You say, "Why is this happening? This traffic is wasting my time. These people do not know how to drive. I hate this situation." But ask yourself honestly, will anger remove the traffic? No. Will shouting make the cars move faster? No. Will stress open the road? No. So what is really happening? The traffic is outside of you, but the suffering is being created inside of you. The traffic is real, yes, but your reaction is your choice. A conscious person will say, "I cannot control the traffic, but I can control my inner state. I can breathe. I can wait. I can use this moment to think, to listen, to pray, to stay calm." That is not weakness. That is mastery. Because the world did not control your peace. Now think about gossip. Someone tells you, "Do you know what they said about you?" Immediately your mind becomes active. What did they say? Who said that? Why are they talking about me? I need to answer. I need to defend myself. And just like that, someone else's words have entered your mind and taken your peace. But pause. Gossip is only information. It is not a command. What someone says about you does not automatically require your anger. Sometimes people gossip because they are bored. Sometimes because they are insecure. Sometimes because they do not understand you. Sometimes because they want to pull you down. Sometimes because they want to transfer their negative energy to you. But you do not have to accept every energy people give you. Just because someone gives you poison does not mean you must drink it. Just because someone gives you anger does not mean you must become angry. Just because someone gives you disrespect does not mean you must lose your character. That is awareness. You can hear something and still remain calm. You can be attacked and still remain wise. You can be misunderstood and still remain peaceful. Because your peace is not for sale. This is where many people lose themselves. They allow the outside world to control the inside world. Someone posts something online and they get angry. Someone ignores their message and they feel worthless. Someone criticizes them and they feel destroyed. Someone has more money and they feel behind. Someone has a better life and they feel jealous. Someone leaves them and they forget their value. This is automatic mode. The outside world presses a button and the person reacts like a machine. Anger button, pressed. Fear button, pressed. Jealousy button, pressed. Insecurity button, pressed. Pride button, pressed. Sadness button, pressed. And the person does not even realize, I am being controlled. That is why awareness is powerful. Awareness is the moment you see the button before it controls you. Awareness is the moment you say, wait, why am I reacting like this? Awareness is the moment you ask, is this my true decision, or is this my trauma speaking? Awareness is the moment you realize, this situation is trying to control my mind, but I still have a choice. Many people are not living. They are repeating. They repeat the fear of their parents. They repeat the anger of their environment. They repeat the insecurity created by society. They repeat the pain from old relationships. They repeat the beliefs given to them when they were young. They say, "This is just who I am." But sometimes, that is not who you are. Sometimes, that is only what happened to you. Sometimes, that is only what was programmed into you. Sometimes, that is only the pattern you learned to survive. But survival mode is not the same as true living. A person who grew up in pain may always expect betrayal. A person who was often criticized may become defensive. A person who was rejected may become afraid of being alone. A person who felt powerless may try to control everyone around them. A person who was embarrassed before may become angry every time someone corrects them. These are programs, and unless you become aware of them, they will keep running your life. That is why one of the deepest questions you can ask yourself is this: who is really controlling my reaction right now? Is it my wisdom or my fear? Is it my peace or my ego? Is it my true self or my past pain? Is it my conscious mind or my automatic program? Because the moment you ask that question, you create space. And in that space, freedom begins. Freedom is not only doing whatever you want. Real freedom is not being controlled by every emotion, every situation, every person, every pressure, and every fear. Real freedom is being able to choose your response. This is the difference between reaction and response. Reaction is automatic. Response is conscious. Reaction is fast. Response has awareness. Reaction comes from emotion. Response comes from wisdom. Reaction says, "I must act now." Response says, "Let me understand first." Reaction can destroy. Response can protect. A reactive person is controlled by the moment. A conscious person controls themselves within the moment. And that is real strength. Money pressure is another example. When people feel financial stress, they often enter automatic mode. They panic. They compare themselves to others. They make desperate decisions. They lose sleep. They become angry at their family. They feel like life is against them. Of course, money problems are real. We should not pretend they are easy. But when fear controls your mind, your decisions become weaker. Fear makes you rush. Fear makes you blind. Fear makes you accept things that are not good for you. Fear makes you forget your long-term vision. A conscious person still feels the pressure, but they do not let pressure become the driver. They say, "Yes, I have a problem, but I need a clear mind to solve it." Because a confused mind creates confused actions. A peaceful mind creates better decisions. That is why protecting your inner world is not just spiritual. It is practical. Your inner state affects your choices. Your choices affect your actions. Your actions affect your future. So when you protect your mind, you are also protecting your future. This is also connected to manifestation, but not in a childish way. Manifestation does not simply mean you think about money and money appears. A deeper way to understand it is this: your beliefs affect your actions. Your actions affect your results. Your emotional state affects your decisions. Your decisions shape your life. If you believe, "I always fail," you will act like a person who expects failure. You may not try fully. You may give up quickly. You may reject opportunities. You may sabotage yourself before others even reject you. Then, one day, you say, "See, I failed again." But maybe the failure was not destiny. Maybe it was a program. But if you start to believe, "I can learn, I can grow, I can improve, I can change my pattern," then your behavior changes. You take better actions. You make better decisions. You become more patient. You become more disciplined. You start seeing opportunities you ignored before. That is how your inner world begins to shape your outer world. Not by magic alone, but through awareness, focus, discipline, and action. The hidden architecture of the mind is powerful. Whoever controls your attention can influence your emotion. Whoever influences your emotion can influence your decisions. Whoever influences your decisions can influence your life. That is why social media wants your attention. News wants your attention. Drama wants your attention. Gossip wants your attention. Fear wants your attention. Anger wants your attention. Because attention is energy. Where your attention goes, your mind follows. So ask yourself, what am I feeding my mind every day? Am I feeding it fear? Am I feeding it anger? Am I feeding it comparison? Am I feeding it jealousy? Am I feeding it gossip? Am I feeding it negativity? Or am I feeding it wisdom? Am I feeding it peace? Am I feeding it discipline? Am I feeding it purpose? Am I feeding it truth? Because your mind becomes strong or weak depending on what you feed it. If every day you feed your mind with fear, do not be surprised if you feel afraid. If every day you feed your mind with anger, do not be surprised if you become reactive. If every day you feed your mind with comparison, do not be surprised if you feel unhappy. If every day you feed your mind with gossip, do not be surprised if your peace becomes unstable. The mind is like a garden. Whatever you plant, something will grow. So the question is, who is planting inside your mind? Is it you, or is it society? Is it your awareness, or is it social media? Is it your purpose, or is it other people's opinions? Is it wisdom, or is it fear? To become awake does not mean you become perfect. It does not mean you never feel anger. It does not mean you never feel fear. It does not mean you never feel pain. To become awake means you start noticing. You notice when you are triggered. You notice when your ego wants control. You notice when fear is creating stories. You notice when your past is speaking louder than the present. You notice when negative energy is trying to enter your mind. And because you notice, you now have a choice. That choice is your power. You can pause. You can breathe. You can stay silent. You can walk away. You can respond later. You can choose better words. You can protect your peace. You can choose not to feed the negative energy. The pause is powerful. Between the situation and your reaction, there is a small space. In that space, you can either lose yourself or find yourself. That small space is where awareness lives. That small space is where wisdom enters. That small space is where you break the pattern. When someone insults you, pause. When someone triggers you, pause. When you feel jealous, pause. When you feel fear, pause. When you want to answer immediately, pause. When you feel like your emotion is about to take over, pause. Because sometimes 1 second of awareness can save you from many years of regret. And remember this, you do not need to win every argument. You do not need to explain yourself to everyone. You do not need to react to every opinion. You do not need to prove your value to people who are committed to misunderstanding you. Sometimes, silence is not weakness. Sometimes, silence means, I will not give my energy to this. A conscious person knows when to speak and when to stay silent. A conscious person knows when to fight for what is right and when to walk away from what is useless. A conscious person does not confuse ego with strength. A conscious person does not allow temporary emotion to destroy long-term peace. This is the message I want you to remember. Do not let the outside world control your inside world. The world can be noisy, people can be unfair, traffic can be heavy, money can be stressful, relationships can be painful, society can pressure you, social media can distract you. But still, there is a place inside you that can remain awake. There is a place inside you that can observe. There is a place inside you that can choose. There is a place inside you that is deeper than anger, fear, pride, and pain. That place is your awareness. When you find that place, you stop living like a machine. You stop reacting to every button. You stop giving your power away. You stop allowing people to control your peace. You stop letting old programs decide your future. And slowly, you begin to live consciously. You begin to ask, what kind of person do I want to become? What energy do I want to carry? What thoughts do I want to feed? What patterns do I need to break? What reaction no longer serves me? What version of myself is trying to be born? Because maybe the real awakening is not escaping the world. Maybe the real awakening is learning how to live in this world without being controlled by it. To be in traffic, but not lose peace. To hear gossip, but not lose yourself. To feel pressure, but not lose wisdom. To face pain, but not lose purpose. To be misunderstood, but not lose your identity. That is power. So today, I challenge you. Observe yourself. Do not only observe other people. Observe yourself. Observe what triggers you. Observe what controls your mood. Observe what steals your peace. Observe what makes you react automatically. Observe what kind of energy you allow into your mind. Because the moment you observe the pattern begins to lose power. And when the pattern loses power, you gain power. You become less controlled by fear, less controlled by anger, less controlled by ego, less controlled by trauma, less controlled by society, less controlled by other people's opinions. And you become more guided by awareness, wisdom, peace, and purpose. That is the deeper meaning of becoming awake. It is not about thinking you are better than others. It is not about judging people who are still reactive. It is about realizing that we are all learning. We all have programs. We all have pain. We all have triggers. We all have patterns. But not everyone chooses to see them. And the person who chooses to see becomes the person who can change. So the next time anger comes, do not immediately obey it. Observe it. The next time fear comes, do not immediately believe it. Question it. The next time gossip comes, do not immediately absorb it. Filter it. The next time society pressures you, do not immediately follow it. Think deeply. The next time life triggers you, do not immediately react. Wake up. Because you are not here just to be controlled by the world. You are not here just to repeat old patterns. You are not here just to live in automatic mode. You are here to become conscious. You are here to become aware. You are here to break the cycle. You are here to choose your response. You are here to protect your inner world. And when you protect your inner world, you begin to shape your outer world with more wisdom. So remember this: The outside world can create noise, but you can choose silence inside. The outside world can give pressure, but you can choose clarity. The outside world can give negativity, but you can choose not to carry it. The outside world can trigger you, but you can choose not to be controlled. That is awareness. That is freedom. That is the beginning of real power. Do not live only on automatic mode. Wake up inside your own mind. See the pattern. Break the pattern. Choose consciously. Because the person who controls himself cannot easily be controlled by the world. Thank you.